Hey everybody, this is David Skrika. So I had a problem with my audio, so I have to start this over again. So yeah, this is a stock chart of the day. I'm putting this out on Monday. So Tuesday, I have another walk to the beach. I didn't actually end up going Sunday. The reason being was I turned my ankle a bit. Like the roads going up and down towards the house, the beach is fine, but can be a little dicey. And I didn't do anything to it. My foot was really sore, and I was like, okay, I should just stay off it. And it's fine because I had to write an article and do a bunch of things on Sunday anyhow. So that was fine, you know, and whatever. So anyhow, this is what we're gonna look at here is Amazon, and we're gonna look at the Magnificent Seven stocks and how they've kind of really lagged and are still below their highs, but in July by a great bit. So you can see that when the markets tank, Amazon had this big gap down, went as low as 150 and topped to 200. So it fell. This is the problem when buying these stocks when they're so overvalued, right? Amazon fell 25%. And this is why, since kind of the spring, I've kind of said, like, we're very overvalued in the markets, and basically anyone who bought Amazon, from late March on is down in price. So, probably when you bought Amazon at 180 and you're up to 200 a few months later, you thought you were pretty safe from being down, right? But that's not the case. So you can see what you're going to see in all these stocks is the bounces have been strong, but they're still way below these highs. Now, is this a sign that, the leadership in the market is changing? And because the S&P is close to its highs, so let's quickly look at the S&P before we look at the rest of these Magnificent Seven stocks. Let's SPX. So you can see here SPX, and you can see the S&P is almost right there, like 5650, 50. It's only 100 points or 2% away. So other sectors have obviously been leading with these Magnificent Seven stocks. Obviously, the Nasdaq as a whole kind of lagging. So now we'll look at Microsoft. And same thing, you see Microsoft 365 or 465 to 385, and then back to 14. So a nice bounce off the lows. That's a 30-point bounce, but still way off the highs of July. That's Microsoft. This is Tesla's kind of been the one Magnificent Seven stock that has lagged anyhow all year. But same thing, you can see Tesla went from 270 to almost 180 at 216. So again, a nice bounce, but nowhere near the highs of July. Of course, NVIDIA is the leadership one. And NVIDIA, again, because it is a leadership one, has held up better. It peaked at around 140 intraday, fell to 90, it's at 124. And the closing peak, you can see, is closer to 135. So really, NVIDIA is only 10 points off its peak, which again is not surprising. One reason I haven't shorted NVIDIA is because I was worried that, if you look at this kind of the last two quarters, I've kind of seen similar corrections, kind of like a slow 1-2 month correction. This is what happened in March and April as well. Then NVIDIA starts moving higher into earnings. NVIDIA's earnings are very soon. And then it kind of gaps up on earnings. So, and everyone's expecting another blowout quarter, et cetera, et cetera. Now, maybe these expectations at some point will get too high, like the other SMCI got hit pretty bad on its earnings. And you can see now is way off the highs. Probably it's never going to go back to that $1,200 high. So, NVIDIA, definitely could see its expectations going way too high. So we'll have to see that in going forward. And this is Meta. Meta again. Actually, Meta is one that's held up better. You can see it fell here and then is right near its highs. But you can see that's really the only one. NVIDIA even still, like I said, 10 points below its high. And then finally, we'll look at Google. Google kind of, it's probably actually been the weakest one. You can see there's the bounce in Google has been pretty weak. Part of the reason is they're losing a lot of these court cases. And which I again I think bodes well for our Fubo play because these big companies seem to be losing as of late in these court cases. But you can see again this one from 190 to 154 intraday is around 162. So anyhow, I just wanted to show you that, and that's what's interesting. Like a lot of these were the leadership stocks, and they seem to be really lagging. So, and if we go look at something like that had lagged for a while, like 3M. You can see like 3M barely even fell during that August pullback. It actually, like a stock like this, which is an industrial company, obviously, is kind of taking back the leadership role, as well. And even if you look at, well, this is not a U.S. stock, the India fund, you can see has now broken out above these highs here. It's actually now at the highest level since April. So again, it got whacked a little bit. So again, it seems like the leadership is changing a bit. And I've said often, like that VIX spike, we talked about, could just be the first warning shot across the bow. It's probably not the start of the bear market right here. It's probably more like you're going to see one of these, probably another high in the markets. And maybe during this high, we see kind of see a shift in leadership, et cetera, et cetera. So tomorrow we're going to talk about what I'm going to do I am going to do another walk about beach because my foot feels fine now. I'm doing one of these kind of like in one of these late night videos because I got up and couldn't sleep. So yeah, so tomorrow we're going to do what's it called? Tomorrow we're talking about gold because Kamala Harris obviously had this very interesting economic package to say the least. I'll talk about that in the beach, and I think that is playing a major role in gold being at 2,500. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that how like the Magnificent Seven stocks seem to be kind of lagging on this bounce since those early August lows, and maybe that's a sign of a shift in the market.